Pastry day again, amigos, and today we're going to be making ourselves some delightful crumpets. And if you're going to be wondering what on earth are crumpets, and it's got nothing to do with crumbs or sweaty pits, absolutely not. They're from the United Kingdom, and they're actually a griddle cake, and using a unsweetened batter, and you can either have them savory or you could have them sweet. It's entirely up to you, so we might divulge in a bit of both today. I've got a funny feeling it might be cream cheese and salmon. We'll see what we got in the fridge, but hope you guys and gals are going to enjoy the video. So we're going to start this crumpet mix, and we're going to need to make a dough before we turn it into a batter. So we're going to need 250 grams of bread flour, which is about 2 cups in you American units. In addition, we want 1 pinch of cheeky salt. So in addition, we want to weigh ourselves out 250 ml of milk, or 1 cup. And maybe you should have weighed this out before and got this heating up beforehand, but it's okay. Maybe I did forget. So when you're heating up this milk, it's super important you get the right temperature. So we're going to go for 35 Celsius or 95 Fahrenheit. Sometimes if the liquid is too hot, it could potentially kill the yeast, or if it's too low, the yeast won't actually proof. So it's super important you get those temperatures right. Okay, so once you've finally heated the milk up, what a donut. You're going to need 2 teaspoons of dry active yeast. In addition, 1 teaspoon of fine granulated sugar or caster sugar. Then give that a mix just until it's dissolved down. So once that's all dissolved down, we're going to pour that straight into the flour. Then we're going to get our hands in there just to give it a mix and a bind together. Now if you're thinking, chef, this is far too sticky, yeah, don't worry, it's supposed to be like this. Just keep kneading it in the bowl with your fingers, keeping it flat. Just give it a little cheeky mix around, because later on we're going to actually add more liquid to this to turn it into a batter. So don't panic, it's not supposed to be like a bread dough consistency. So once it's nice and smooth, scrape your hands down and the bowl, don't get rid of it, and make sure that goes back into the dough. And then we're going to flour it just lightly and then cling film it. And I'm going to let this proof for about 2 hours until doubled in size. So it's wrapped, ready to go. We're going to put it somewhere warm to do its cheeky magic. So after 2 hours, it's finally doubled in size. Look at that little cheeky bad boy right there. Goodness me. Fantastic. And what we're going to need to weigh out is some warm water. So we want about 240 ml or 1 cup of warm water. And when I say warm water, the exact same temperature we weighed out when we did the milk. So about 35 Celsius or 95 Fahrenheit. So in addition, you want to grab yourself a little cheeky whisk as well and pour this straight in, knocking this back. And this should turn into a nice, beautiful batter consistency. So you want to whisk this for about 5-10 minutes, just until it's all incorporated. So eventually you should have a nice good consistency for your batter, nice and thick. If it's a little touch thin, you could always add a little cheeky pinch of flour if you need to, or a handful, just until you get to that right consistency. So to actually make those cheeky crumpets, we're actually going to need some muffin rings. So what you want to do is oil the inside of the ring before you pop these into the pan, just to stop the batter from sticking when they're cooking. So we're going to put a large non-stick pan onto a medium-low heat. You can use a cast iron if you want to. Entirely up to you. So once that's got up to heat, we're going to add a tablespoon of peanut oil. So once the pan's heated up, pop your rings in. And then you want to carefully ladle in the batter about 2/3 of the way up. So you want to cook these out for about roughly 20 minutes, and do not turn up the heat, do not touch them. They want to do this slow and low, so it's super important. Let it seal up all the way around and on the top. So finally, these are about ready to flip, but as you can see, it's not quite as many holes, which is an indication we might need a touch of liquid, as the batter might be a little too thick. So we can adjust that for the next lot now. So the rings are going to be super, super hot. So to flip these, you just want to be careful and just very carefully take the rings off. So once you finally got them out the rings, give them a little cheeky flip, just to finish cooking on the other side. So just a few little things to adjust before we make the next lot. So we just want to make the batter a little bit more thinner, so we're going to add a little touch more of warm water. In addition, we need to make sure the rings are really well oiled. And then second of all is to make sure that heat is a little touch more hotter. So let's have one more go and see if we can adjust it to the right way. But other than that, it's looking soft, spongy, delicious, how it should be. So we'll give it one more bash and see how this goes. So there we go, amigos. Took a little touch more practice than per usual, but sometimes it requires a little bit more practice just to remind you again how to do them correctly and properly. Look at that little cheeky bad boy right there. So making sure that you oil up the rings very well, making sure you got it on a medium-low heat, making sure you actually use plenty of oil as well. In addition, making sure you get that batter to the right consistency. So it is a little tricky to make these, but once you get the hang of it, you can make these perfect ones one after the other with no issues. So I thought I'd give you a little close-up of that perfect crumpet, how it should be, with those beautiful holes, that nice beautiful caramelization, cooked all the way through. Absolutely fantastic. So that's what you're looking for, amigos. So now we've got those beautiful crumpets, we're going to do some fillings. So we're going to do some chives and cream cheese topped off with a little cheeky bit of smoked salmon. And in addition, we've got some jam as well lurking in the fridge, maybe some cherry jam. And then if you're feeling super cheeky, we might have a little bit of Marmite as well. So hope you guys and gals are looking forward to this now. So I'm just quickly dicing up a small amount of chives for the cream cheese. We're going to pop that into a bowl with half a pack of cream cheese. And if you want that in grams, that's roughly about 215 grams or 4 ounces. So we're going to add the chives to the cream cheese. Also a quarter of lemon juice as well to go in there, catching those cheeky pips. And then just give it a little whisk until it's nice and smooth. And not forgetting a little pinch of salt as well to go in there as well. So spread that beautiful cream cheese over the top. And then finished off with some beautiful smoked salmon. And this being one of my favorites, a little bit of butter on the crumpet. Just let that little bad boy melt right down. Finishing with a beautiful thick spread of that beautiful Marmite. Goodness me. Maybe you want to go a little thinner than me, but I love it nice and thick. And then for the third one, just finishing it off with some beautiful cherry jam. So there it is, amigos, homemade crumpets. Oh, wait. A little cheeky bit of dill just to finish it off. So there it is, there's our homemade cheeky crumpets. Whether you want Marmite or not, or whether you want it sweet or savory, entirely up to you. But I feel like we need to give this a bash and give it a try. So that beautiful salmon cream cheese, bit of cheeky dill to finish it off. Can't go wrong. You ready for this, chat? I hope so. So soft, fluffy. Nice, beautiful crunch. The cream cheese and the salmon works so well together. Oh my goodness me. That's a delight. And because I'm British, this might make you cringe, just in case you don't like it, but I've got to go for that beautiful Marmite one. I'm sorry, chap, got to do it. You ready? So good, absolutely delightful. That cheeky Marmite makes it all worthwhile. Give it a bash, amigos. So that's it for this week, amigos. I hope you've enjoyed that cheeky episode. Feel free to try out these crumpets as well. The recipe will be below in the description box, and try and not get too frustrated if it takes you a little bit more practice like myself, just to get to where you want to be. Nothing wrong with that. Also, in addition, if you want to catch me on Twitch, Tuesday to Friday, 10 AM Mountain Time as always, link is in the description box below, cooking some delightful cheeky dishes. Also, if you want to like the video and subscribe to the channel, you know the score by now. Thank you so much, and I always appreciate it. But until next week, amigos, stay cheeky.